The Birds just dropped two very expensive dominoes in their grand free agent plan this week, but are these about to pale in comparison to the biggest fish this offseason? Plus, the latest report on why Mekhi Becton is going to be harder to keep than we thought, who's next in line to get a contract extension, why this free agent edge rusher has officially entered the chat, and what's going on with Darius and CJ Gardner-Johnson's beef this morning. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. Howie and the Birds have been busy locking up key players for the long haul while creating cap space to prepare for their next move, although there are some expectations and reports happening now that a few of the in-house casualties are becoming a lot more real. First though, how about Zack Baun? As I've been saying for weeks now on this channel, he was never going to leave Philadelphia, and Howie made sure of just that, finally inking the Birds' all-pro linebacker to a massive 3-year, $51 million contract, placing him at about $17 million per year. And so to celebrate and giving away this signed Zack Baun Super Bowl helmet, once I hit 90,000 subs here on the channel, so hit that red button, drop a like, leave a comment down below to make sure you guys are entered. Baun's contract is, yet again, another Howie Roseman masterclass. He's projected to only count between $4 and $6 million against this year's cap, while still getting more than he expected, but also less than the Fred Warners and Roquan Smiths of the linebacker world. It all sets a very clear precedent heading into free agency next week. If you come to Philadelphia on, let's say, a cheaper deal, you have a chance to not only play alongside the best players in the best scheme in the NFL, but also a chance to secure a massive bag once you take your game to the next level. And Zack Baun was the poster child of this exact plan, coming to Philadelphia as sort of a no-name free agent signing, ball out, get a massive contract, and be loved in Philadelphia for many years to come. The fact Howie Roseman got his deal done before free agency, I think sends a very clear bat signal to the rest of the NFL. You might want to check out Philadelphia before you sign somewhere else. Now, of course, shortly before Baun's big extension, Philadelphia surprised everybody with an extension for Saquon Barkley. Philadelphia tacked on 2 more years to his current deal with a massive $41 million contract extension that now makes him the highest paid running back in the entire history of the National Football League. Obviously, a massive thank you for Barkley's record-setting 2024 and a complete shift now in how the entire NFL views the position going forward. Now, if you're wondering why would they extend him now, he was still on a 2-year contract for much cheaper. Well, obviously they wanted to reward him, but this is very clearly another internal move where Howie Roseman shifts money here and there to make sure he has the additional money to go ahead and sign somebody else. It is worth noting, however, that with Barkley now inked through 2028, the Eagles offense has 6 of their top starters tied to the team through that same year, with Cam Jurgens likely becoming the 7th player with a new contract extension in the next couple of days, which personally I think is the next logical move the Birds are going to make because a Jurgens extension, one has been reportedly in the works for weeks, but also creates even more cap space to sign somebody else, maybe even Mekhi Becton. Also, quick PSA to home renters out there, if you have not heard of Built Rewards, well, you're going to thank me. Built is a no-cost payments platform that you pay your rent through to earn extremely flexible points and unlock neighborhood benefits. You can transfer these Built points to book your favorite flights and hotels at over 500 different airlines and 700,000 different hotels and properties. For example, let's say you're me and you live in Atlanta and want to fly to Philadelphia for the Birds home opener sometime in September. Well, you could go ahead and spend, $322 or simply 25,837 Built points right now. Built points are like earning points when you use your credit card at the grocery store or for traveling, but you can link any credit card to Built and earn Built points on top of your regular credit card rewards when you spend at their partners. And the best part is you can redeem your Built points at a ton more places, including things like your next workout class or even your next rent payment. You can start paying your rent right now with Built by using the link down below in my description box or the nifty QR code you see on your screen. Be sure to use my URL though, the way Built knows I sent you. Now, Becton's return to Philadelphia I do think is a lot more likely after the Bears' recent double dip into the guard trade market this past week, as the possible list of Becton suitors is already growing thin. I think further pointing to the reunion with a team that completely changed his career. Although, signing Becton might take longer than we thought, as one NFL insider noted this morning, quote, "Preference for Becton is to re-sign with the Eagles in free agency as he's comfortable with the franchise that helped him reclaim his career. However, it is a matter of whether Philadelphia can fit him in the budget. It may take a while for Becton to sign with the team, hence I don't see something happening immediately once free agency opens." Now moving over to possible casualties, we have a fresh update on both Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, and if you're hoping to keep them, it's not looking good. For instance, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler tweeted yesterday morning that, quote, "The feeling in league circles is that Milton Williams and Josh Sweat will both hit free agency," with Cameron Wolfe adding that the Patriots are among the top suitors for Milton Williams once free agency begins on Monday. Now there are already some unverifiable sources saying that Milton Williams and the Patriots already have a deal done, which we obviously can't say is gospel just yet because they haven't announced it. They got to wait till Monday, but it definitely feels like 95% sure Milton Williams is going to be gone, likely to New England, and Josh Sweat is also going to leave Philadelphia. Now, another departure I'm not convinced is actually true, but definitely gaining momentum is Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert, who is entering the final year of his contract with 0 guaranteed money going into this season. And according to the Inquirer's Jeff McClain this morning, he spoke with one agent in the NFL who said, quote, Goedert by no means is a slam dunk to return to Philly for an 8th season, which was kind of echoed by PHLY's Zack when he said, quote, even though he's under contract, he has no guaranteed money on that contract. The Eagles can rework his deal, maybe guaranteeing his yearly salary and bringing the cap number down. They can trade him if they're not ready to commit beyond this year. I don't believe they'll cut him, but I don't think they sit still. So really, the Eagles have one of three choices. Trade Goedert now and get something in return, restructure his deal to a 1-year cap-saving extension and let him walk in 2026, or just sign him right now to a longer extension and keep him in Philadelphia for life. Either way, something definitely has to give, although I would argue that not having a strong backup option for replacing Goedert right now leads me to believe he will be on the roster in 2025. When they dumped Ertz way back when, they had already drafted Dallas Goedert. So my guess is it's a longer extension in the works, or they're going to draft his replacement this season and then let him go in 2025. Moving over to the first big defensive end domino that fell yesterday, as the Raiders announced a 3-year, $106 million extension with pass rusher Maxx Crosby, making him the highest paid pass rusher in the entire NFL at $35.5 million a year, which, by the way, Adam Schefter noted will soon be surpassed by another edge rusher, likely Myles Garrett. Now, this move, paired with Ian Rappaport's emphatic plea on Good Morning Football just the other day with Eagle fans saying Myles Garrett is too expensive for the Birds, has definitely dampened the spirits of all the Garrett trade lovers in Philadelphia.
Even though they cleared some cap space yesterday, here's what I want to point out. If the Eagles were going to take on a huge contract for Myles Garrett, if he gets traded anywhere, he is going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, no doubt about it. In order to take on that contract, they would have to get rid of other very big contracts of their own. Even the Eagles can't just fit everybody they want. I would be very surprised if this happened. It is a great rumor. It's a great rumor, but I'd be very surprised if this happened.
But I will say this, obviously Myles Garrett's going to be very expensive, but all these rumors tying him to Philadelphia means Howie at least has an idea or a plan to go ahead and make the money work. If the Eagles were to trade for Myles Garrett and then give him a brand new contract extension, they would likely have to backload the hell out of that deal and take some of the risk of a drop-off towards the end of his tenure. But this whole idea that Howie can't figure out a way to land the all-world edge rusher is pretty ridiculous. There's a Roseman, there's a way. And the real question really, I think, is the asking price to first get him into Philadelphia, which I've continued to say is probably too much for the Birds right now. But the more Garrett publicly claims he will not re-sign in Cleveland, the cheaper his price is going to get on the trade market, and Roseman, of all people, definitely understands this. Now, while all the offseason drama is unfolding, there's some big in-house drama happening on Twitter that revolves around the Birds secondary and Darius Slay and CJ Gardner-Johnson. As Darius Slay posted a recent podcast, which he then very quickly deleted, but not before people posted the recordings, seemingly showing Slay taking a shot at CJ Gardner-Johnson.
I do got a great leadership role in that secondary room, but I won't be surprised if Reed and them guys like Reed can, advance these guys. Reed being around me and a lot of other veterans that have been here before. And I'm sure he could lead that group the right way. Because that's who I feel will be leading the group is if I ain't in that building is Reed Blankenship, because he's a great leader. You know what I'm saying? He is a great damn leader. If they bring another veteran in that's already been playing a lot, I could see them coming in and being a leader as well. But for sure, if I'm not in that room, Reed Blankenship, will be a great, tremendous leader, a great one.
Now, obviously, he doesn't mention Gardner-Johnson by name, but that's kind of the point, right? Talking about the leadership in the Birds secondary names everybody except for CJGJ, which naturally caused Gardner-Johnson to lash out on Twitter this morning, tweeting, quote, vet presence is always needed, don't get me wrong. But bro, what vet is needed when young guys can hold their own? Q and Coop. And you got a crazy duo with Reed and me. And the supporting cast, Ringo, Zay, Andre Sam, Eli, Sidney, Tristan, stay with the youth, you ask me. Clearly, there is beef going on, but we don't really know how bad this actually is internally. I do wonder, though, if this whole social media situation is a clear indication of the Birds' plans, at least a corner going forward. Slay, as we know, is now a free agent, and while he did tell the FS1 Morning Show guys just the other day that if the money was equal, he would return to Philadelphia, if there is any sort of leadership drama between 8 and 2, I bet Philadelphia probably goes with what I would consider as plan A all along, and that is keep Isaiah Rodgers and have Zay and Keeley battle it out for Slay's old spot. The problem with that is that Isaiah Rodgers is likely going to at least test the free agent market on Monday, and so there's no guarantee he comes back to Philadelphia. Although he did take to social media yesterday and showed off his own Super Bowl 59 jersey with the helmet and mannequin currently in his house, so I'll take this as a good sign heading into free agency. Still, I do wonder how the CJ Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay beef is going to eventually end up. Right now, though, it looks like I would assume Slay's not coming back. Now, there's no point in actually mentioning A.J. Brown in Boston, but if you follow any sort of New England Patriot people on Twitter, there has been a ton of buzz this week of A.J. Brown and the Patriots being a realistic trade possibility due to one single Boston area reporter saying the Patriots did call the Eagles to check in on A.J. Brown. The funny part is, though, no one reported the Eagles' actual answer, which likely was an immediate hanging up of the phone and probably a good laugh. Especially when you see the Seahawks are now trying to get rid of star wide receiver DK Metcalf at a reported asking price of a first-round draft pick and a third-round draft pick, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, no team will pay that to get DK Metcalf, but let's say they did. A.J. Brown is way better than DK Metcalf, so what do you want, New England? 2 first-round draft picks? 3 first-round draft picks? Get out of here with this phone call. What's actually a lot more likely to happen than trading A.J. Brown, because there's a 0% chance of that, is maybe taking a look at newly released Chargers edge rusher Joey Bosa, whose injury-filled last 3 seasons have only netted 14 sacks during that time, with just 5 this past year, but could add the old Chris Long roll type edge rusher for the right price. Although, as we know, Joey Bosa doesn't have a very loving history with the Philadelphia Eagle fans, at least during his career with the Chargers. But if the whole Myles Garrett edge rusher situation were to fall flat on his face and he wanted to take a deal, maybe signing in Philadelphia could make some sense. Although if I had my pick of former Charger edge rushers, I'd much rather have Khalil Mack than Joey Bosa, but that's just me. Either of them really could be the perfect replacement for Brandon Graham, as we found out earlier this week that he tore his tricep once again via Derek Gunn during the Super Bowl, in a move that I think fully puts the nail in the coffin on his potential return next season. It's wild that both Nolan Smith and Brandon Graham tore their triceps during the big game, but at least they have plenty of time to heal and a ring to show for it. Now, yesterday, during the Zack Baun live stream, I picked the winner of the J-Lux Hunt signed jersey giveaway. That was Blake Wallen. I have already heard from Blake Wallen. He's in contact with me, so that one is officially going to get sent out here in the next couple of days, but if you did not win, there are plenty of more signed giveaways happening, including the signed Zack Baun helmets. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and get in on that once I hit 90,000 subs. As we say every single day, heading up to free agency, things change from hour to hour. We'll be the first ones live, as always. If there is some breaking news, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. Thomas Mott on a Thursday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.